What's up, man? I hope it's working properly now. We wasted such a good one, man.
We were on a bender too that last
Yeah,
one.
well, we had a little session and we got together and we were talking about some stories of growing up, right? We started off like talking about like Father's Day or something. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
like, talking about like growing up and some of the stuff that we've been through in regards to our fathers, like while we were growing up, like with stories in relation with our fathers. And man, we had a good one. It was but the sound was horrible. One of our cables was wonky and totally screwed it up.
I thought we could get away with it, and I was listening to it. I was like, "Oh man, I can't hear nothing."
No, yeah.
And my voice is squeaky, and so when it's at a low
So
tone,
now I'm like all nervous. Like I want to get up every second now and check stuff. But hey, you know what? It is what it is, man.
we can
We'll figure it out.
we can check it halfway through.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know any safe parts to check that. But,
I know, man. So
yeah, and I haven't run a soundboard like that in like years.
Yeah.
Because when we used to DJ and we used to have all the equipment for all
well,
that
imagine me. I've never done it any time in my
Yeah.
life. I had to learn it. I read it about it and what to do. So, anyways, we're here.
Dude, it was new. I just saw you yesterday.
Hey, you got out of work early,
I did.
and the first thing you did, you have a million choices.
A million choices.
The first thing you did was, let's go podcast.
That's exactly.
This guy's a diehard,
I
man.
was at home. I came in the door, and everybody's working from home, and I was like, I'm leaving. Peace. Going to the podcast, man. I get here, and everybody's all serious. I was like, dang.
Well, you
man.
see how packed it is right now with the kids out
Yeah,
there?
that's awesome. I was pretty
Hey,
happy
seriously,
with
guys.
that.
Yeah, there's stress. Obviously, it's a business. We're running a business, right? And then on top of that, even more stringent, we're running a martial arts studio, so it has to be ran a certain way because there are martial arts rules. Like we can get into it some other time, but we try to that everything we provide, everything we work on, has to be a certain level of sharpness, and so it gets a little stressful. But the show's on the road. There's a Zoom going on. There's a class going on. There's instructors out there. There's students out there. There's parents outside. So there's a lot of moving parts, and here we are podcasting. So there's a lot of moving parts to everything.
Oh, dude, I'm addicted to this. So I could talk like for hours, and like I think about things to talk about. I didn't even have notes. We just did this on the fly.
Yeah,
today,
man. No, it's cool, man. I mean, yeah. So the classes starting next week. Starting Monday of next week. You don't have to pre-register anymore because we saw kind of like the graphs and stuff. The numbers show that we have plenty of space for the amount of people that were pre-signing up. Yeah, it's a good thing about having this huge spread, man. We can do all the stuff safely, and be under the guidelines for the COVID-19 stuff, for the reopening. We're still under all the guidelines, and so you don't have to go through all the trouble of pre-registering and making sure that we got, you just show up now. Show up, and you'll still be able to do all that safely.
Yeah. And we got to make sure to stay on those guidelines for a little while because as much as I'm already thinking, yeah, we can already start holding advanced classes.
Yeah, I know. It's almost like you want to do that, but you know that you gotta. I mean, we gotta be.
So I was at work today.
On top of that,
and we had an outbreak at work. Our police department.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 7
oh, man,
people.
I hope they're all right, man.
7 people. I'm not supposed to know about it, so
it's from the police department.
Yeah, it just rumors spread real quick.
Know, man, but they're front line, dude, and
well,
they're already dealing with a bunch of stuff.
They're part of the group that guard, because every police department sends a group to the riots when the riots were happening or wherever in Orange County.
Right.
To do backup, and there were like a group of 7 that were together at these riots or protests, and so they got it, man. So,
do we get sponsored?
I don't know. This is a little different.
Yeah, I like the other ones better.
I like the other ones better. This one's it's all right.
Unless you guys sponsor us, we'll love these.
Hey, you sponsor me up. I'll drink just about anything, man. Come Fridays, we're going to have a little vodka and Coke in here.
It's funny, but you have to have something here. It's so hot in here.
Yeah, and we talk so damn much.
Yeah.
If you don't have something just to wet your whistle.
Hey, you know what? We're talking about naming the studio. And so if you guys have some names that you guys would come up with, go ahead and drop a line or two and let us know what you think the name should be. But so far, Boiler Room is about right.
Boiler Room's pretty cool.
That or Sweatshop.
Sweatshop.
Straight up.
2 Mexican dudes in a sweatshop, dude. That's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
I'm telling you, man, it's hot in here. Well, I mean, because look, quarantine with Gary and Abel is only going to go so far because at some point they're going to let us be, right?
Yeah.
So we got to start thinking about that already.
Hey, I already got a little thing that I'm going to start doing, and hopefully we post it. We'll get our own little time for each of us and post it. It's kind of what we do outside, but I got a little segment, and I'm going to post it, and I'm going to take pictures of, like, fat guy problems.
Wait.
I'm going to do it, dude. I'm going to do it. I might even get an IG account and just put fat guy problems.
Yep,
and just,
there you go. Yeah.
Every time, like today.
We talk about them all the time.
Yeah, I got them.
Yeah.
I got problems, man. I was at home last night, and I did really good. You know, I've been working out hard. I've lost about 6 pounds in the
Good,
weeks.
man.
And that's good for me. That's
I watched it that last class. That who did that? Was it Esperanza? It was a day. Was it a day class? No, it was a Monday night class.
Yeah, Monday night class.
Dude, that thing was brutal.
That was brutal. I'm still hurting right now. My legs are hurting
man,
still.
it was a packed class, but that one was brutal.
But I sweated. I sweat so much on that one. That was a good one.
Yeah. We did a little instructor workout yesterday.
Did you?
And man, I felt so good this morning. I did yoga in the morning, and then I did a workout
saw the
night.
yoga class.
And then I woke up today. I woke up like a champ, man. I was like fully energized and just like, ready to kill it.
That's what I got to do. I gotta get some freedom, man, and get here. And I want to do yoga during the day. I want to roll in the morning.
I know it sounds like that, but I get so caught up with the office work, man.
Well, that's why you're in the office, and I'd be out here working out.
But yeah, I get caught up with the office stuff, and then I'm like, dude, I got no time for that, or I got no time for that. And like, Chris is one of the largest reminders that I have during the day, because he'll look at me and be like, none of the office stuff matters if this goes to waste. And I'm just like, dude, I got like a angel and a devil on my shoulder, man.
And then you're getting pulled from so many directions.
And then there's other stuff
I walk in and I'm like,
there's other stuff I shouldn't even be doing, and I'm like, why am I spending an hour here right now? Like, come on.
Oh crap, man! What did I walk into? I was like, okay.
But you see, I mean, so it's
I
like
came in with some energy, dude.
That was great energy.
And then
I love it.
Then all of a sudden it was like, womp womp womp.
Yeah. That's the like the backside of the business that nobody sees. It's like the behind the scenes, like, behind the stage or whatever, behind the curtain. There's a lot of moving parts to this stuff, man. And
it's moving parts, but I think the one thing that we have in common is we both roll with a lot of energy all the time.
Yeah, you have to, man. Because listen, life is hard already.
Yeah.
You don't need to make it harder with a bad attitude. Like,
and
just laugh about it. Get some good music going and feed off each other.
I live by that rule that Bo taught us when we were instructors, man. You come in like it's your last class or your first class, and you roll with that.
Yeah, he had something with that, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a good, because that's not just talking about class, man. That's talking about your whole life. Show up with the good attitude, man.
As soon as you walk in the door, man, it's like gotta have a different vibe, man. Absolutely. You can't wear it on your shoulders, you know.
The sky could be falling, but you show up and you do what you got to do to make sure that has no effect on how you're performing.
Well, you're a Krav Maga practitioner, man.
The sky's gonna be falling all around you if you're doing Krav Maga.
If the sky's falling, you're doing like 360s and you're ducking and moving.
Yeah, man. Well, that's the whole point, right? Like the stress drills that we do.
Yep.
We put so much stress on the body, like it gets you exhausted, and then we put you through a drill that not only tests your physicality, but your mental awareness and your sharpness on your techniques.
One thing I'll say about that is you can tell who's been through lots of years of training physically that way and who hasn't. Because when stress rolls around, you see guys get like loose and like, and they get it done, and then you see other people just like snowball into this like weird
and I'm not even
thing.
talking about on the mat. I'm talking about real life.
Real life.
Yeah.
Real life.
You can see what's up. Like who's been through some stuff, because they're like, all right, like they just take care of it.
Yeah, let's figure it out. Yeah.
I'd like to think. I don't know if this is true or not. I like to think that I'm pretty good under stress and pressure. Some of my best moments are under stress and pressure in my life.
You work really good under pressure. I get real quiet, and people look at me like.
I don't. I get pumped up. You know why? I feel like there's someone mean mugging me in my face, and I just want to get in their face too. And that's how I look at life. Like I get a challenge like that, and I mean I'm human. I'm scared sometimes, and I I have my doubts sometimes, but I just grind my teeth and get in its face. You know what I mean? And just get it done. And then when it gets done, then you can rest or cry or laugh or whatever you want. You know, deal with that later. But just get it done. It's like a mission's there, and you got to do it. You got to complete it. You know?
I agree, man.
That kind of goes into a little bit like having like an alter ego. I switched that on, man. You know this. Growing up, I read comic books and collected comic books. Do you have an alter ego?
I have like several alter egos.
No, wait. Those aren't alter egos. Those are personalities, man. You gotta go get that checked out.
I got several alter egos. Yeah, when I was younger, you know, a little bit of more like Hulk type stuff, you know, and
Hulk smash. Yeah, you gotta get that under control. Yeah, you gotta be like the new Hulk in the new movies, where he's just like he's still Hulk, but. Yeah,
when I was
measured.
a young kid, I could relate to Spider-Man big time, you know, even though I wasn't agile like that, but his mentality and his problems and stuff like that. Now my son, that's his favorite character, Spider-Man, because he relates to it and everything. But like as I get older, you know, it's like I like Bane. I'm a little darker.
Yeah, Bane is actually pretty dark. If you guys don't know who Bane is, he's the guy that broke Batman in half.
Yeah. And
he's actually Mexican too.
He has a crazy backstory.
You know that, right? He's actually Mexican. Yeah.
He's actually like a thinker, and he's all buff.
Yeah, he's ripped.
But yeah, he meditates and does all kinds of stuff. I'm actually more on the dark side now, man. I'm more on.
You crossed over to the dark side.
I did.
You're on Stan's side now.
I did.
A lot of you don't know this, but our master instructor Stan Hill, we've kind of labeled him over the years. He's pretty much Darth Vader.
His Vader.
You could be on the mat and you know you killed it. You know you did something. You executed something. We don't believe in perfection because it doesn't really exist. But you can, in your mind, say, "Dude, I did that perfect, as humanly perfect as possible." And then he'll just look at you and he's just like, not impressed. You know. Like,
yeah, I've heard him tell somebody.
He's just like, what?
I've heard him tell somebody, "Get over yourself, dude."
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've done stuff like you know, he's coming on the mat or whatever. We train together, and I do his classes and stuff, and he'll call on me for something in front of the class, and I'll do it, and I'm just like, whatever. Like, I'm confident. I'm like, yeah, all right, show off a little bit. We'll make sure that we put a little extra on it. And he's just like, Abel, you need to focus on this. I'm just he was like, but it's true. That's true. Listen, there's levels to this, man. You know, and you get these instructors that are looking at every tiny little thing, and you're just like, ah.
But you'd rather hear from him than somebody who did not know what they were doing.
Well, I'll be honest with you. You're really not going to hear it from someone else because there's a level of knowledge there, you know. And then to have that trained eye to catch those little things, that shave off like.
You ever have somebody like question you or something in your class?
Oh, absolutely, of course.
Dude. People don't like it when they do that because then my alter ego does come out, and then I'm like, I'll show you.
You get upset?
I wouldn't say I get upset. But it was like I told you the other day that I have this thing where I've always been chasing, dude. So when somebody questions me, I get like.
Nah, look, listen. If somebody questions it, look, you have to see where it's coming from. If somebody questions it, it's not always just to be rude. It could be like a genuine, like, what if this happens, or why does that work? Or are you sure that works? Right? Because they probably don't know what constitutes a technique that we teach and why. Like why it's okay that we teach that technique. They don't know that we've put like hundreds and hundreds and thousands maybe even of drills and repetitiveness drills to see if it works, and that we go full on to make sure that this stuff works. And what I mean full on is like literally like, okay, if we're doing a knife attack, we have someone with the training knife obviously, but we're going full on, you know, trying to destroy that person, and if they're able to disarm them, then it works, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't work, and it gets scratched, you know.
Yeah.
And it has to happen over and over and over and over where it works, right? So if they ask a question, I don't normally go to that side first, to that like aggressive side where you're like, dude, what are you asking? Like, it's usually coming from a good place. You get a knucklehead every now and then, you know, and then those are the ones you have to show. You have to like show how you know. But it doesn't happen that often. Yeah. They weed themselves out, you know.
Sometimes.
Why you have a chip on your shoulder right now, man. You're like stewing right now.
No, I'm not stewing. I'm hot. No. I was thinking about this. So the other day, I was like, Because you said sometimes I have a chip on my shoulder, so I've been like that's been in my head. Dude.
Sometimes you always have a chip on your shoulder.
That's the thing that you can do.
You try to smile through it, but I see it. It's there all the time.
There's things that are like you say something, I'm like, and I'm not a thinker, so all of a sudden I'll be like, damn, that's noticeable. Oh man, dang, oh man. I mean, cause I'm constantly tinkering with my mind, man, and it's like.
Like what? Like things that I've said to you?
Just anybody. It didn't have to be just I'm just saying.
So I'm trying to think. Like, what did I say?
No, when you said like, oh, you're the jealous type.
Oh.
Dude, the other day
you are the jealous type.
The other day I was like, damn, does it come out? Oh,
did I call you out on it? Is
yeah,
that what happened?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and because this is something that it's a flaw that I know that I like have.
Oh, dude, I noticed that a long time ago. That red flag that I said.
You asshole.
By the way, we didn't use that clip, huh? So I can tell you the story. So what I'm talking about is this, if you guys don't know. So we got this new setup, right? We used to do this podcast in my office, and it just sounded horrible. We had one little mic. Actually, first we started with no mic. Then we got one little mic. And then we're like, all right, so we're putting the time into this. So let's get a real setup. And we got the real setup. And I don't know the first thing about any of the things here, okay? But I had to learn it. So like I literally put the time in, read till like 3 a.m. for like 2 weeks. And I got it to one point. And then from there, I needed someone that knew more, right? Like actually could step up and calibrate stuff and all that. So I hit up Mr. Ryan, one of our very good-looking, younger instructors, and a smart guy, dude, IT and tech and all that. He's just knowledgeable. So I call him in, and I go, hey, man, can you help me out with it? He helped me connect everything, balance everything out and stuff as good as he could. And I was all excited, man. I was so excited because I'm like, Mr. Gary's going to come in here and be like, dude, this is sick.
It was sick.
So
I was happy.
I got out like at...
I was trying to...
It was like 11:30 at night. First person I call... First person I called should have been Gloria. But I am like, you know what? Gary's going to really appreciate this. And I know how pumped up he was about making this real. And so I hit him up. I go, hey, Mr. Gary, man, what's up? And he goes, he was like dead too. I don't know what was going on with you. You're like, what's up, Mr. Abel? I'm like, what the hell? And then I go, are you asleep? And then you said something like, no, I'm just here. Kicking back. I'm like,
you probably caught me in one of my
that was like horrible
depression moments, dude.
I was like, all right. And then I'm still trying to keep upbeat.
I don't remember the conversation, but...
yeah, and I'm still trying to keep upbeat. And I go, hey, dude, guess what? And then you're like, what? And then I'm like, dude, we had the podcast thing up. I was like, Mr. Ryan came in, calibrated everything, connected the wires, all this stuff. And then like, I thought you were going to be like, oh, hell yeah, or something. And then you were like, he what? Who else was there? And I was like, what? And then you're like, how long were they there? Did they use the mics? Did they put the headphones on? I'm like, what is this?
Man.
I'm like, I gotta go, man. It was like a ex-girlfriend or something, or girlfriend breaking up or something. I don't know, man. But
he was all bad.
That was totally a red flag.
I
was like, dude, this guy just got jealous for no reason.
I was trying to be funny, and it probably came off like a total. I don't know. It was.
Didn't come out as funny.
It didn't come out funny because
I drove home quiet the whole time. I was like, what the hell just happened? Did we break up?
I have a tendency, and I don't know where that comes from.
Has anybody else told you? Like,
yeah.
Gabby?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not the type that's like, oh man. It's just there's times where I told you. I feel like I'm always chasing, dude, like trying to be the guy, that I want people to understand that.
Like,
and then when I feel like I'm not that, I get like,
jealousy for me is just, it's non-existent.
I would.
Not in my vocabulary, man. It's just, I see it as poison, man.
It is poison.
Yeah,
it can rot your brain, dude.
Yeah, man.
And I have a lot of flaws, dude. That's one of the ones that.
I said it more. I honestly did say it more to be funny because I noticed like there was a quality there, like a little jealousy quality, and I was like, it's interesting.
But you know what? I don't mean it to be like contrite, like to try to like put somebody down or something. I just mean it because it's like.
No, I mean it's not a big deal. I mean it's only like
it is a big deal because now I'm all it's all like what the hell?
It was only like a 45-minute drive home in quietness and just like hello darkness, my old friend. I feel like I just broke up with someone.
I was laying down and I hung up. Now I remember what was going on. I hung up and I go, oh crap. What'd I do? Abel sounded mad.
I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad. I was just like,
you hung up abruptly, dude.
I was perplexed. I was like, dude, I thought he'd be all pumped up.
I'm
you know,
thinking about it now.
I'm like working extra hours to make sure that we have like a badass setup, and then like I'm like, all right, that did not go the way I thought it'd go. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
But anyways, so you know, back to
Let's get off the subject.
I'm gonna switch the subject. Back to having like we were saying that like we used to collect and read comic books and all.
Oh yeah, dude.
You know, kind of someone that there's two characters that I always kind of looked at as like a alter ego.
Yeah.
And one of them, Wolverine. Obviously, 'cause
course.
that guy just gets through it, dude.
Yeah.
That guy's been through hell and back. If you guys know who Wolverine is, just type up on Google Wolverine, and it's some great stories. Old man Wolverine.
So
Old Man Logan.
Old Man Logan
pretty legit.
that is a crazy comic right there.
Yeah.
I got that into that with Shane, and because we would always go.
Kind of broke my heart that they did that though, because I kind of.
No, man, that was so awesome.
It
dude.
is awesome, but it's just like.
It kind of makes you. It makes you like relate even more.
Yeah, it's because it's
the
real.
yeah.
It's so damn
So
real.
raw, dude.
It's raw. It's real.
And because we would go to comic book stores all the time.
You can do nothing but relate to him.
And Shane was looking at stuff, and I'm like, hey, man, while I'm here, I might as well get into this a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the
Old
ones
Man
I
Logan,
got
man.
in. Yeah.
If you're an adult and you haven't checked that out, you want something to read, something kind of.
It's a good graphic novel, Old Man Logan. And it actually, the last Wolverine movie, there's a lot of little things in there that are from the book.
It kind of leads towards that.
But they said it's not Old Man Logan, but it really, you can tell they tried
they
to make it that way.
Yeah.
The other one, dude, Dark Side is when I was going through cancer and stuff like that. I got into Deadpool, dude, and it wasn't because I used to think he was just stupid. I was like, this is a stupid character.
Listen, if you're like me and you can get through because you know how I am with like language and all that.
Yeah.
If you can get through like that rawness, and like kind of really evaluate him for who he is, it's pretty dope.
Well, yeah, and plus he's not really a hero or a bad guy.
Well, same thing with Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine too.
They're anti-heroes, I guess they call them.
And but he was so cool because he had the reason why he got his powers and all that because he had cancer.
Yeah, he had
and
cancer.
he was trying.
Oh, you're right.
And he tried to figure out something to cure it and whatever.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna go back and watch that now. That's right. He had cancer.
Yeah, and his backstory was pretty good. You know, he was actually a real loyal guy and all this stuff.
Yeah,
and he's a smart ass dude. So it's like, so I
Fits the
started
bill.
like, oh man, I'm
Fits the
kind of
bill.
more like this guy than anybody.
Yeah, with Wolverine, like I said, he just kind of grinds his teeth and just gets through stuff. You know what I mean? He has that X healing factor, right? And which means that like when he gets injured, hurt, whatever, he heals like extremely fast. Not so much in real life. Like people can't heal that fast. But it's almost like a quality that's unattainable that you won't. I mean, you would love to, right? Have some trauma or being hurt or whatever, and be able to heal that fast and move on and just go.
You ever go to a con?
No, I've never been.
So me and Shane are gonna have to take you to a con.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll join you guys.
Because if you're into it,
absolutely.
Especially if you were a kid and then you're an adult and you realize that, holy crap, guys, our generation are now running this industry, and you can you go there and you totally like.
You can relate.
Oh, it just feels like you're in the world that you wanted to be in, you know? It's like, and then all these little kids, like my son. And,
now they're growing up.
And they're knee deep in it, dude, and they're making it even bigger than what it is. But if you haven't gone to a con, there's some good cons out there to go to for like a day or something. WonderCon in Anaheim is one of the better ones.
Really? Okay. I'll follow your lead on that.
I'll have to get, that'll be on me. And we'll have to go on a day and do some signings and do some stuff.
The other one is so Street Fighter, Ryu.
Oh yeah.
So like that guy literally travels the world and he does martial arts. That's all he does. Like he lives and he does what he loves, you know?
That was a video game that came out as a comic though.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're talking about alter egos.
Alter ego.
I'm trying to get it specific.
But even now there's so many spin-offs now that like
it's true.
There's comic books for Street Fighter and all that. But yeah, the alter ego, so Wolverine and Ryu. Yeah, I mean, you know, Ryu really had a life, dude.
one of the cool things now, though, is that there's guys, like I said, our generation, and what they did was go, okay, like the earlier guys who created these guys, like, oh yeah, I'm going to draw this and this is cool and perfect. Now these guys who are our age, from those older guys who had Batman and Superman, and said, we need to know a backstory.
Right. They're adding to
and
it.
they added like backstories and big time universes.
Yeah. Well, look what just happened to all the Marvel movies in the last 10 years or what, 15 years?
True story. I forgot the guy's name. Man, I don't know how I forgot his name. Just because I'm wanting to know it right now. But the guy who created Deadpool, who lived here in Huntington Beach, Shane met him a couple times. His kids went to Edison High School.
Oh, I didn't know he was from...
yeah, and then...
did you say Huntington Beach?
Huntington.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. He's a local guy. He's from Orange County.
That's cool.
The guy who created Deadpool. Yeah, great guy. We met him several times. Yeah, great guy.
And in the movie, he couldn't have been played by anybody better.
Oh yeah, no, Ryan Reynolds did a great job.
Ryan Reynolds just killed that dude.
And he's a fan of Deadpool, so
it worked.
It worked even more because he knew exactly how to play him. And
well, I think Hugh Jackman had said, like for Wolverine, he had said that if he wasn't allowed to do like a Berserker Wolverine, like he wanted to show that like really just aggressive, like where he just loses it, right? It just goes. That he didn't want to be involved with the project, and then we have that last movie,
so there's
Logan,
a lot of
where he does go berserk.
Because I have a son who's knee deep in all these universes and blogs and different stuff. The rumor is with the new Marvel universe, since it went to Disney and it got bought from Sony, they're recreating all these characters, but there's one that they're gonna kind of leave, and Wolverine might be back in some of this stuff.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
They're gonna have a backstory on him, and so you might see a little bit of that coming soon.
That's very cool. Yeah, very cool.
You know, as a kid though, I was a big Batman guy. I love Batman, and the bad guys in Batman, that's what made Batman. Like those comic books, those make Joker, Bane. There's a couple other guys that are like, that I was like, ooh, yeah, I can get into this. I love Batman.
I remember watching the
TV show?
No, I remember. Well, yeah, I did watch a TV show. Yep, for sure. Actually, for a long period of time. But I remember watching a Batman with God, what's his name? Oh, it's like a famous line. He goes, "Where does he get these wonderful toys?"
Oh, that's Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, the Jack Nicholson Batman at the Commerce Theater.
Yeah.
And man, it was so cool to watch that on the big screen.
Dance with the devil in the pale moonlight.
Yeah, and then the Penguin. The Penguin was played by
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Oh, he looked like a creep on that one, man. Straight up.
Those were actually pretty good. Those are a little more comic booky, and those are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I even like Michael Keaton in the role.
Yeah, and I guess what I was going to point out, it's funny you say that, like how it's changed to today. It's a lot more realistic today.
Christian Bale and Michael Keaton are probably my two favorites. The rest of them, but...
Yeah, there's some kind of dinky ones there.
Yeah, I thought Ben Affleck, people were like, I thought he might be able to get away with it because he's playing an old Batman, the old man Batman. Right. If you haven't, and that's another one, if you haven't read Old Man Batman.
Oh, I didn't even know it existed.
They're the first one that did it. The guy who made, you ever see the movie Sin City?
Yeah.
Frank Miller. Mm-hmm. He also made 300.
Yep.
He wrote Old Man Batman.
Oh, I didn't
That's
know that.
his comic.
Oh, and he has a certain style about him.
And it's dark.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So like everything you just named right now,
Yep.
it has a certain kind of style to it.
Yep. And he wrote Old Man Batman before Sin City and that, and those became famous, and they were gonna do his version of Batman, make it R-rated.
Right.
And then whatever reason it never happened. Yeah. But
what's that, like that other comic book movie? God, what's the name of that? It's like it's a smiley face.
Oh, The Watchmen. Good.
That was a lot darker, and it's a lot more like adult.
That's adult theme.
It's adult theme, like. But it was cool.
Sexual content.
Yeah, but it was cool how they did it. I mean, it was like just like an adult version of a comic book, but it was really cool. I like the way they did it. It was different.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Manhattan is a good character. Dude, I can name all those characters right there. The Owl, Night Owl. I was into that a little bit.
But I like how it went from like really comic booky, like the movie that I said about Batman with The first one I saw at the theater.
Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson. Yeah, and like it's really comic booky, right? Like you could just like literally tell that that's from a comic book.
Yeah.
But now you watch like all of those comic book movies, like Logan, right? Like the new Batmans and stuff, and
progression, dude.
Yeah, you can't tell that they came out of a comic book. They just look like it's just like a real. That world is real, you know,
So,
and it's gritty and it's intense.
There's certain ones that I watch or growing up, like I got into. I used to have a really good friend, John Bell, got me. He was into the Hulk and Spider-Man, and we were in high school, and I dated his sister, and so I would be like hang out with him all the time.
Why you got to put that out there? You dated his sister
because they're both artists, and they both could draw, and then what they would do on the side.
It wasn't a jab.
No, it wasn't a jab.
Okay.
No.
That was pretty funny. If it wasn't jab, that was pretty funny.
No, it was kind of relevant because the reason why I was around him so much and we became good friends.
You want me to edit this out?
No, you don't have to edit it out. No.
Oh, that's funny.
No. And he could draw like no other. So what we would do is we just graduated high school. We're the same age. And we would go hit these comic book shops at 18, 19 years old, you know. Right out of we go to school. We had a couple same classes together in college at OCC, and then we'd go to the comic book store, and he would show me all these ones that I had never seen, and I'm like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And he got me back into.
You know what's really cool about that? You mentioned that because like I know a certain amount of like a certain scene of comics, and like somebody else can have like a completely different type of comic book and like genre and. That's what's really cool about that you can find pretty much anything that
in comic books. If it's probably been written, it's probably been, and if you like certain things, they probably have it for you. You know, you just got to find it.
Yeah. For me though, it was like the more like like the X-Men.
Yeah.
And
those are great.
Yeah, like that's what it was for me. Yeah.
The TV shows as a little kid were the
best.
Man.
Yeah. Saturday mornings were the best. Watching the cartoons.
Yeah.
I'd actually watch some. I get up early enough where I got to catch. I'd get the X-Men, but before the X-Men, they would always play the like Tom and Jerry and the Looney Tunes and all that stuff. And then that one was like a little bit more like a little bit later because like it was X-Men. There was a lot of like violence and fighting and stuff. But I'd catch that all in the morning.
The X-Men, as watching that as little kids, if you think about it, those are some deep stories.
They are. Oh, they have them on. I think it's the Disney Channel.
Yeah,
Disney,
they do.
Disney Plus.
Me and Shane watch.
Yeah, they have all the old ones, and then like you like now as an adult, there's a theme to every cartoon.
Dark.
Yeah,
they're dark, dude.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
But they were popular. They were so popular.
They were really popular.
Yeah,
I remember watching all of those.
I was big into G.I. Joe. I was big into, I love Storm Shadow and G.I. Joe, the ninja.
But the old G.I. Joe. Old G.I. Joe, not the new. Because there is a whole new G.I. Joe.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a whole new G.I. Joe thing.
Storm Shadow was my favorite.
Yeah.
You know, the ninja.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Snake Eyes and him would be.
Yeah, all the time.
Go at it. Oh, yeah, those are my two favorites right there on G.I. Joe. And then my little brother got into He-Man. Remember
He-Man was cool, man.
That's probably like your age.
I got the power.
Yeah.
Dude, he rode on a tiger.
Battle Cat, dude.
That was sick. I used to have all the action figures and everything.
Yeah, it's probably right around your age. I was a little older.
Dude, I
was a little older, so yeah.
Skeletor.
That
was creepy.
She-Ra.
They were always all ripped.
Yeah.
That was like the pumping iron kind of era because
it was the 80s.
Every cartoon, they were just like completely ripped.
No, you're right. It was the era of the big movie, the era of like
She-Ra. She-Ra was ripped too.
Well, look at the movies that were out at the time. It was like Schwarzenegger,
Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, you had First Blood, Rambo. You had Rocky. Those are the days where
that's what men were made out of.
That's when men were men, dude.
Yeah, dude. That's some cool stuff, man. Yeah. Oh, it pumps me up.
Yeah. So you got to go to a con because if you're into that kind of stuff.
They have that stuff there too?
Dude, they have everything at cons. So anything that's like pop culture.
Okay.
Eventually, like.
Oh, I thought it was literally like just like.
No, dude. And then you can go down these aisles and they have all these people signing. So, like, I met guys like from the A-Team. I met guys.
Oh, are you serious?
Last time me and Shane went our last con, and it's been a couple years now.
You remember watching that show, The A-Team?
Oh, that was my favorite show.
Shit, man.
B.A. Baracus was the man, dude. And nobody knows why they used to call him B.A. Everybody was like, hey, I'm B.A. Baracus. And they hid it from parents purposely. You know what B.A. said? Badass Baracus.
Oh, is that why? That totally makes sense. It totally makes sense.
B.A. Baracus.
That is so funny, dude. I remember going to Universal Studios, and they had one of their shows at Universal Studios was the A-Team.
Yeah.
It was legit. They had explosions and
They
everything.
even had the van parked out in front. Yep.
I remember that. Oh, that's so cool.
So, so you go down these aisles, and they have Signature Row. And all it is guys from old TV shows or whatever, and nostalgia, dude. And it's just people go there and spend like $50 to get an autograph and a picture, dude. And we met so many people like that. So Shane is crazy about SpongeBob, dude. We've seen almost every episode. We know, like, we quote.
I don't know. I don't know a lot about SpongeBob.
So yeah, because your kids are younger, so you're right. That's in like their wheelhouse. I
know what PJ Masks is.
So I don't know that, but you go there and they had the whole cast of SpongeBob.
I know what Paw Patrol is.
Yeah, see, I don't know any of those things. Yeah, and
but it's because it's generational.
Yeah, it's generational, right? But when we went there, it was really cool because you probably do know Jimmy Neutron. Do you know Jimmy? Yeah. So.
Little smart kid.
Shane met all the cast of Jimmy Neutron. They
cool.
loved him. They signed things, talked to him because nobody was there around. And you know the guy that plays Sheen? He talks like this, and he's a little Mexican guy, right? Dude, he used to be on Power 106, and I was talking to him, and I go, "You used to have a radio show on Power 106?" He's like, "Yeah."
Was that guy Tito?
No, it wasn't Tito. No, it wasn't Tito. It was.
This is Tito.
No, it wasn't Tito. It wasn't Tito. That was on Big Boy.
Yeah, Big Boy's neighborhood.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Tito. But this guy, he was on for years, and he would do radio shows and stuff, and he does voices.
Radio, dude. Doesn't that sound so old? Radio.
We're doing it right now.
I know, but this is like
this
the
is
new
a throwback.
Yeah,
to that
I know. That's so crazy, though.
So what's cool with that? It's like, then Shane got me going to Comic-Con. Now, that's a whole different experience, dude. That's like all of San Diego is basically participating in this event,
sick.
dude.
Well, that's actually smart for the city, too.
Oh, it's
Money
built.
maker.
It's built around the city.
I wonder what's going to happen now.
Dude, so they canceled it this year. Yeah. So literally, you go into the hall, which is the convention center in San Diego. But right next to that,
it's nice there, too.
Yeah.
It's really
man,
nice.
it's cool. It's the best place for
go visit,
anything.
man.
The Gaslight District, Lamp District, and
Little Italy.
Dope
there, man.
So you have all the Omni, you have Hard Rock Cafe, you have all these hotels, right? And all the the big hotels that are right there, the Hyatt, the Marriott, and all the big ones right there by the port. All the celebrities are staying in there.
Oh, so there's celebrity sites everywhere.
So for them to go to the halls to where they're going to go sign or whatever, they just have to walk down the street because there's too much traffic.
Right.
So people are just like, yeah, what's up? How you doing?
So it's really interactive.
Dude, I'm walking, me and Shane. I'm like, holy crap. I'm standing next to Wesley Snipes, dude.
Oh, no way. No.
I have a picture with him.
Impersonator. It was an impersonator.
No, it was him. And he was talking to his buddy about sniffing cocaine. and Shane's such a goody good. He's like, "Oh my God, Dad, did you hear him?" I was like, "Hey, man."
You should have took a picture with him, like kicking your head or something.
Oh, dude, I have a picture with him. No, he acted like he didn't even want to.
Oh, he didn't want to talk to nobody.
So there's celebrities like that, and then
he's Wesley Snipes. So
you know what was really cool though?
Passenger 47.
Shane has a really keen eye for like celebrities that aren't like big, but he can spot them. Like, and he's a huge fan of SNL. Dude, all the SNL guys were there, and they were just walking around. And he met Horatio Sands. He met all these SNL guys, dude, that were just walking around and nobody noticed him. He's like, "Hey, you're so-so." And they'd be like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And those guys like to be seen when they're just like up-and-coming guys, you know? Dude, we've met so many people. One of the nicest guys we ever met, Kevin Smith, other nice guy. The year before he died, Shane met him several times. Was it part of his fan club? So Shane, people don't know this about my son. He's a huge Adam West fan. Talk about the original Batman.
Yeah.
We met him when he was 7 years old. Shane had a broken arm.
Hey, we have a friend that of ours that has a friend that owns the original car.
Really?
The bat car.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
It's AJ's friend. Yeah.
So we used to like go hunting for like things at swap malls, old, what is it, like the Long Beach Antique Show, all that. And we found this thing of Adam West, an original picture of Adam West. So Shane I think he was 8, maybe 9, goes, Dad, Adam West is going to be at WonderCon. Can we go? I want to meet him. Let's do it. No problems. $25, $30. He was cheap to me. They do that so it keeps the lines down.
Got it.
And he goes up, and Shane had a broken arm at the time. And he shows Adam West this picture. And he goes, where did you get this picture? And he goes, oh, I got it at an antique place. He goes, do you know this is the original picture that I tried on the suit for the very first time?
You're kidding.
And this is the picture they took of me before I even did the show. He said, we hadn't even shot an episode yet. This is the original picture. This is them going, here,
That's
try
insane.
the suit on, do this. And he talked to Shane for 35 minutes, dude.
Well, it probably brought a whole bunch of memories
Yeah,
to
yeah,
him,
yeah. Yeah, and his wife pulled Shane aside, and while he was signing everybody else's autograph, he didn't really care what other people had to say. Tried to buy it off of Shane. And Shane was like, floated it to him, and then we got
like gave it back?
Yeah. And then
That's freaking cool.
and then
So you pretty much give him back his picture.
and then 2 months later for his birthday, he sends him an autographed picture. Shane, thank you, Shane. You're the sweetest kid ever. He's got it in his room, dude. He's sweet.
Kidding.
Yeah. That's the type of
Wait,
shit.
that's a great story. Wait, so Shane actually said, all right, I'll part with this. I'll give it back to you?
Yeah. That's the type of kid Shane is. And he was
Dude,
like,
Shane, you were already on top of my list. I don't know where to put you now.
he was so enamored with Shane and doing whatever. Like, he was like, talk to my wife real quick. Let me finish all this stuff. And the wife took all his information, my email.
You know what they probably did? They probably got a copy of it. Like, he probably just wanted, like, a copy of it.
Yeah, because that's all it was a copy of it. And he was just, like, so nostalgic over it. And
That's so cool, man.
Yeah. I mean, Shane's got tons of stories like that.
So
like,
cool.
Like, the best way to meet a celebrity that you really like is to know about that celebrity. Like,
Yeah.
like not just, like, their movies and stuff like that, but to know, like...
As a human being.
Yeah. And so Shane was just, like, rapping with them, and they were so amazed. And we went to several cons after that, and we would see him, and he'd be like, hey, Shane, what's going on?
Oh, that's
hey, Shane,
so
what's going
sick,
on?
dude.
Yeah. That's
Those
the
are
type-
great memories,
yeah.
man. Yeah. So you got to take me to one of those, man.
Yeah, you would have so. I
Especially
tell
if it's in
people,
San Diego. I love San Diego, man.
Comic-Con's hard to get into, but
What do you mean?
Comic-Con.
Didn't you just buy a ticket?
No, it's like a lottery, dude, to
What?
get into.
Oh, I'm done.
But
I'm over
I'll
it.
tell you this
Forget
much.
it.
This is so we have a good friend Veronica, who is her husband's a photographer. Our first time in Comic-Con, we could not get in. She's like the sweetest person I went to high school with her, and she's Gabby's good friend. Grew up with her, and she goes, "Hey man, I'm sending you guys something. Enjoy. It's on us. Meet me there in San Diego." And she got us a weekend pass for me and Shane for the weekend, our first Comic-Con, dude.
Dude, that's so sick.
And it wasn't just a weekend pass; it was a press pass. So we got to go different areas that other
so
people
there's a
didn't get to go.
workaround.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say names, but somebody got me into the NASA convention.
Oh man.
And the only way you can get into that is if you're a scientist or if you're a scientific journalist.
That's crazy.
And
That would be pretty
I got
crazy.
hired.
Really?
I got hired at a company, and I was hired as I shouldn't even say this.
Uh-oh. Say it.
I worked for a company that had to do with the universe and science, and I had a position and everything.
Really?
And I got a pass to the NASA convention. Yeah, we just had to show proof that I was working for the company.
As a custodial.
So I was representing the company that day, and yeah,
Nice.
it's really cool.
Wait, you know who can get us?
So I guess that's a good workaround.
You know who can probably work us a sweet deal to get in the Comic-Con? I just have never asked him. Is Mr. AJ, dude? Because
That guy knows everybody.
he's got connects,
Yeah,
dude. And I know he's been there. Like,
But I rather like with AJ, I rather not call in those favors like
No,
that.
no, I don't like calling in favors like that either.
The favors that I call in for him are like today. You saw him today.
Yeah,
He spent
yeah.
like 5 hours here, like tuning up.
I'm more into like training with AJ and doing whatever.
Well, he was tuning up all our system, like what we run the company with, and I mean, for those of you who don't know, that's his business. Like that's what he does. And to have someone at his caliber like come and look at our stuff, it's just like, dude, this guy. I'm not asking for anything else, you know. Like that's enough.
I'm just a fan of AJ just because of what he does.
He's awesome. Oh, I asked him, by the way. I asked him today if it'd be cool to have him on, and I told him that connect his guitar, maybe have his daughter join us.
Cool.
And he's like, "Oh, dude, I like that." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's a yes. Just tell me when."
That's cool.
That'd be super cool.
Yeah,
he's
that is
like,
cool.
my daughter could do that on her own, right? You don't need me for that. I was like, no, but it would be cool to
We
have
do
a daughter.
need you for that, man.
Like it'd be cool to have that. You know what I mean?
That's the connection, dude. Is you.
Yeah.
And your
So then
daughter.
and so I'm looking forward to that because he's like, yeah.
Oh, I'm stoked. I want to do that for sure.
Yeah.
I have so many stories of Shane meeting celebrities, dude, and like becoming like buds with like celebrities.
Is he gonna pursue the comic book stuff or no?
Since he has some downtime, he's working on his second comic book.
I still have my original. It's all covered up.
A lot of people do, and he's feeling the pressure on that right now because it was a lot of work, and then once he was done, he was like, what did I just do? You know, I don't believe I just did that because he knows how much work is gonna go into it. He's
and then COVID hit.
Yeah, and then COVID hit, and now everybody's like, and then he graduates, and everybody's like, hey, your comic book, we need to have it. And so now he's working on it.
You just kind of really explained my story.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was like building this and then like, COVID. Anyways. So Shane, I can relate to Shane.
Yeah, that's how he is. He's kind of like, oh man.
Yeah, but he did such a good job on that one that anything that comes after that is gonna have to kind of be really good.
He wrote that.
No pressure, Shane.
So he wrote that. This is how long it took him. He wrote that in the 6th grade. Somebody said, hey.
Really?
Yeah, a buddy of his said, he's kind of like you. So you tell him, hey, let's do something. And if he's like into it, he's like, let's do it. There's no stopping me once you get going. And his buddy Joe was like, hey, let's do it. And Shane was like, all right. And his buddy kind of like, flaked out.
But he kept on going.
Shane went like 110%, dude.
Yeah.
By the time he was a freshman in in high school, he was like, he had this little following, dude, behind him. Like
I remember he did the when I used to run the other studio. We I don't know if do you remember that?
Had a little signing, man.
Yeah, we did a signing at the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. Well, see, we were building things up, and so now he's got to get some steam back behind him.
That's cool.
But he's the type, dude. Like we've been at Disneyland, and he'll be like, oh man, I just saw a picture of a celebrity and it looks like they're at Disneyland. Like you'd be like, how can you tell they're at Disneyland? And then he's like, I'll be back, Mom and Dad, I'll be back. 25 minutes later, 30 minutes later, like he's following the guy on Instagram, whatever.
Oh, because whatever.
Yeah, he's just following the landmarks. Next thing you know, me and Gabby are walking, and then like we'll get a text. He's like, check your Instagram. Look, and he's like with Jon Favreau. He met Seth Green,
so
Chris Hardwick, all at Disneyland, just walking around.
That's
dude.
so funny.
Oh man, yeah, he's just that type of kid that just like, oh, I'm gonna meet that person. I'm gonna meet that person. Yeah.
That's really cool. But he's meeting people that like of stuff that he's into.
Yeah.
So,
dude, if you like that stuff, it's so fun because whatever you're into, like. I have friends that are Ghostbusters, like in Ghostbuster clubs. They go to the cons and dress up.
Well,
as
Jacko,
Ghostbusters.
one of our instructors here.
I've run into Jacko several times at cons, and he was all dressed up.
Yeah, he does a 501st. I don't want to mess this one.
501.
501, right?
501st Legion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the biggest Star Wars. What is that club? I would say.
They come out on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
what's that? Show them.
501st isn't just a Star Wars. We got to be. They're the dark side, and so all they are is stormtroopers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. They're not like good guys or anything.
Yeah,
they're all
it's all
like
the bad guys.
all the bad guys.
Oh, Jacko, you're so dark. I love you more, man. That's so cool.
And he's got dope stormtrooper outfits, dude.
Wait, man, listen. You look at what they're wearing, and it's like professional grade everything. It just looks identical.
We gotta have Jacko in sometime and talk about it because
that'd be super cool.
Because he was in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, he was
as a stormtrooper in his stormtrooper garb and hang out with like Favreau and all these guys.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, he's got stories too. That guy goes into some things as a stormtrooper and meets some incredible people too. Yeah, he's just on the down.
Well, he really is into all the '80s stuff and all that, like the Back to the Future stuff. Like he has that.
Dude, he refurbished a 1985 truck to make it look just like the truck in the movie, the Mazda in the movie.
He made it the same. It's so crazy. It's so awesome.
I just watched Back to the Future the other night,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
I want to go down to the Pointe Hills Mall and take a picture in front of it. I love that movie too.
Yeah, that's a good one. But some of them got a little goofy. Like they made so many of them. They're funny.
One and two are great. Yeah. 1 and 2 are great. Yeah. But that's what I mean. You can go in. So this is cons, man. You have the Back to the Future.
So there's everything then. There's like
you have the Star Wars.
For some reason, I don't know. This just shows how much I know about the world. I just thought it was like all like X-Men stuff and like So it's really just broad.
It's so broad. It's pretty much just pop culture. Dude.
Very cool.
So movies, cartoons, comic books.
Hey, so wait, let's go back to this getting a ticket thing. Why is it so difficult to get in? It's a convention.
Comic-Con?
Yeah.
Comic-Con.
A whole bunch of people
So Comic-Con has now become the #1 marketing place for movies. And so what they do is...
so like they're building up the hype to it or whatever before it comes out.
And they get all the big stars there, dude.
Got it.
We were there one morning, and if you can get into Hall H, that's the hardest place to get into, is Hall H. And you have to usually stay in overnight in a line.
We might just have to get a job as a janitor, dude.
I've tried everything, dude. I've tried everything because we were going. We went into like 5 years in a row, and it got really hard after a while. Yeah, because lines are you wait in a line for everything, dude. So we were in the line, and we got lucky because nobody wanted to go in on a Friday morning. So I was like, boom. And Shane was like, cool, we'll stay here all day. And that's what we did, dude.
Oh, in Hall H?
Funnest times I've ever had. First guest in Hall H, always to open it up, they have a mystery guest. First guest in Hall H was Bill Murray, dude.
Oh, that's cool.
And he comes out, and
pretty awesome.
He had a movie, Rock the Cashbot, at the time. And but he was talking about his SNL days, how people were asking about. There's a documentary out there, Stories of Bill Murray. Have you ever seen that? Netflix, watch it. Okay. And it tells about how Bill Murray will just show up in random places and just befriend you, dude, and just do whatever. He was at a college party doing dishes. Like, there's a story about that. And he was telling about that story and all this stuff. So usually in Hall H, what they do is they go, okay, it's over. Thank you. Bill Murray's got to go. We're going to escort him off the stage and go into his Escalade and boom, see you later, you know. Bill Murray's like, yeah, the security's trying to get him out. Jumps over the fence and goes out with the people, and they lost him. He just hung out at Comic-Con.
He's just walking
he's just walking around. Shane got a picture with him.
That's funny.
We were in there, and he's like, he's going to jump the fence. And you see Shane. And he's like, yeah, we got... I almost started an Instagram page with Shane just showing the celebrities that he's gotten. There's probably
that many?
At least 100, at least.
That's so funny. Shane's going to do big things, man.
Yeah, he's fun to talk about, too, because, I came home today. Here's a good story. And I go, I'm going to do a podcast. But first, I got to use the bathroom. Go to his room because he has a bathroom in his room.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and did my business, came out, and he was like, did you have to do that? You just ruined my whole day. Oh, sorry. See you later. Gotta go.
Hey, Shane, better over there than here. Yeah.
He thinks I'm a freaking rude guy, dude.
That's funny.
Yeah, but Comic-Con's pretty amazing.
Like I said, if it's in San Diego, I'm in.
It's pretty amazing. I had a blast there one year because there's a couple people from krav that were all there, so we all hung out. Reggie lives there. Lucio, I can't ever say his last name.
Big Reggie.
Big Reg. And
he's always smiling. I love that guy.
Yeah. And met up with him. Jacko, met up with Jacko. But you go in there, and Comic-Con's like no other. You can go down the street and something's going on. You go over here, there's something else going on. The night we went, Petco Field was opened up for free to all Comic-Con pass holders, and Lincoln Park put on a big concert.
Oh,
there.
wow, you're kidding.
Yeah, that was just the main.
So that was just like a bonus concert.
The thing that night.
Dude, that's so sick.
The night before that, it was like pre-night, and they premiered like Star Wars, and all the cast was there, dude. It was like, whoa, you know.
There's this place in San Diego, in downtown San Diego, called Barley Mash.
Oh yeah, they have events there.
I hope it's still there, dude. After COVID.
Oh really?
That place is awesome, dude.
Yeah, they have it. They have signings. There's all kinds of little signings and stuff there.
It's a really nice place, and the atmosphere, the food, the drinks there, everything's awesome there.
Dude, so we're walking around, and we're right by that place. Right around the corner, there's a little bar and a little theater there. And this guy goes, here, this is for a premiere of a movie. There's only 50 people going to watch. Here you go. Here you go. Me and Shane get in line. Hey, let's check it out, you know. And
you didn't even know what it was, though?
No. And we found out Seth Rogen and his partner were in there, and we got to see Sausage Party. and it was like a room with only like 25 people, and we had a conversation with Seth Rogen and stuff like that. That was fun.
That's crazy. See, most people would probably just be like, oh, whatever. You know, like,
oh, no, we've learned that if somebody goes like, hey, you want to go see something? Hey.
It's usually someone putting something out.
Somebody put something together, and they kept it on the down low. And
That's cool, man.
Shane has a picture, because Conan's there every year. We spent 1 year where we only went into the hall one time. We spent behind the theater where Conan was at, and we spent hours and just got tons of pictures with celebrities.
That's cool. See, I'm like on the other side of that spectrum. Like if I see a celebrity across the table from me, I'm just kind of like indifferent, you know? Not that it wouldn't interest me to talk to them or anything, because I would love to pick their brain and have a conversation with them, because I am a people person. But it's almost like I feel like, oh man, I don't want to bother them. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure they get it all the time. You know?
You ever hear the picture, the movie The Room? It's like the worst movie ever made. The guy who.
The worst. Could you imagine having that
title?
Literally,
that's what it's called. It's like one of the worst movies ever made, and the guy put his own money up on it and everything. We'll have to talk about that another time, because we have good stories about that. We met the guy and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, dude, you would like Comic-Con. I mean, I think you would like any con, but Comic-Con for anybody is a total adventure, dude. Total adventure. They have a whole video game. Like, you can go in a different hotel. It's all video games. It's like you could go see Street Fighter. They have a whole hall just for Street Fighter.
Oh, wow.
Because it's so popular, and they have new games coming out and new all the time.
By the way, remember that story I told you about me getting in trouble?
Yeah,
my dad,
Did your dad watch it?
I was playing Street Fighter, and I was at Saget, right? Guess who my character was?
Ryu.
It was Ryu, baby.
You can. Yeah. I can talk about.
I just came full circle on that one, man. I got my butt beat for it, but
has your dad heard any of that?
No, he doesn't. My dad's like, he doesn't, unless I put it on for him, because he doesn't like really navigate. He does like email, like his systems for his type of business, and then nothing else. And so
it's that generation.
Yeah, he's just like, he doesn't care. Yeah. And I'm like, Dad, come on, man. Like, I was like, hit subscribe, man. Hit like. Listen to one. Yeah. I was like, I talk about the family all the time. He's like, all right, I will. Like, next time you come in, put it on for me. I'm like, no, Dad, you like go on there.
I want you to hear it.
You do it. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be with you.
Yeah. And I'm like, and then I was trying to explain, like, you don't have to sit through the whole thing. You could hear snippets of it. And then he's just like, but why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just sit through the? I was like, Dad, it's just different, man. Just do it. So whatever. Yeah, my mom is actually more low key, and she watches everything, and she even shares like the posts from like Facebook that we do here at Blackbelt Collective. Like if I share something on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, she'll share it.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
I'm like, oh, this is so cool.
That's cool when your parents.
But yeah, but my dad just doesn't. He doesn't have the capacity. He doesn't care about it. So, but
my dad doesn't know how to. My dad has like 4 Facebook accounts
because he keeps on forgetting. Yeah, I know. No, like my dad would totally be into listening to our stories because he's a storyteller too.
Yeah.
But,
I know. I spent an hour with him just one time. just
Oh, dude,
chopping it up, dude.
I got some stories, man.
And that's what I love to do. So I love talking to people that have stories because I got stories on top of stories. And
yeah, he's got some crazy stories. Like a lot of his stories, you'd think that they're not real, but he grew up in a time where that stuff happened.
That's where people always go, Gary. That stuff's not real. That's not. You're not being truthful. That's what Gabby said. They're like, people aren't gonna believe your stories. She's like, I don't believe your stories.
Well, I told you. I said it's like you've lived your life in a movie.
I'm a character.
Yeah, you're a character in a movie, and your life is the movie, and we're watching. So or in this case, we're listening.
Shane already told me I die. He's gonna write a movie about me just because I have so much craziness in my life, dude.
Yeah, actually, just a little side note. Like one of the reasons why we did this setup as well is because I have a little project working with my dad. He has a kind of a pretty unbelievable story. I guess if I had to choose anything, it's just unbelievable. Like from him, like where he grew up, how he grew up, from the moment he grew up, what he went through to be who he is today. And so part of the setup was for that too, because I want to get it in audio, and then eventually write a book and stuff with him and all that.
So that's what I love about podcasting, because now it's out there.
Yeah.
And my stories are out there and whatever, and my kids can hear them and they've heard them a thousand
tomorrow
times.
If you're gone, this is here.
That's what I'm
forever,
saying.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. If I'm gone, dude, I expect you to put on a loop.
Absolutely, man. Hey, listen, how many times have I said Jimena? How many times have I said Baby Luke? How many times have I mentioned my wife? How many times have I, if I'm gone, they can come back and listen to this. This is what I thought about them. This is what I talked about.
You know what was really cool? I don't talk about my older son enough. I always praise Shane so much. My older son, Andy,
part of it is because I know Shane and I know Andy.
Right. But Andy came over yesterday and spent some time with his brother.
Oh, cool.
Took him to IKEA. They bought a desk. He put it together for him. And you know, that meant a lot to me.
Hold on a second. Like, he put the IKEA furniture together for him?
For him.
Oh, he loves them, man. Because if you ever put an IKEA thing together. Actually, not too long ago. You worked on
That's what I said.
I'm like, dude, no way.
I would have been dropping F-bombs.
Yeah, you got to love someone to do that, man.
Yeah, and so I had to bring him up because it meant a lot to me yesterday to see that. You know, he can be a little difficult at times, but yesterday that was pretty cool. That was a good Father's Day for me. That's what I like to see.
Don't get me wrong, IKEA. If you want to sponsor us, we'll say that you guys are fantastic.
Hey, I'll tell you what. You get a Kia in here, we're going to move this nice desk, and we'll put one of those little Kia desks up. And
by the way, for those of you that don't know, all the beautiful furniture in our whole facility actually was because Omar, Mr. Omar, one of our instructors, Mr. Omar and Stacey, they actually provided these for us.
Really?
Yeah, they were the hookup for it. Yep, and it's like legit stuff. If you ever go to these guys' house, man, it's like it looks like one of those when you're going through like a model home like magazine or whatever. Yeah. Everything's like gorgeous. And so like they're like, oh yeah, we're not using these anymore. They were at my husband's at Omar's office, and I'm like, okay, because I already know how they like their stuff. I'm like, okay, I don't even have to see it. I said, I'll go get it. I'll go get it. And yeah, we got there, and then it's like this amazing stuff. So all the stuff you see in my office and here and throughout the studio, they hooked it up, man.
That story of him going to get this is a good story too, man.
Oh, I'll tell that some other time though.
That's a whole podcast, dude.
Dude,
it's just like getting the bags.
I almost died.
We spent 5 hours doing that.
Yeah, yeah, that was definitely a journey. But I'm just thankful, man. Thank you, Mr. Omar. Miss Stacey.
For sure. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
Absolutely.
I can never say the name. Waldy.
I can't even say the name.
I can't ever say their last name. I know. So just call him Stacey.
No, it's Omar Badawi. I mean, you can correct
Badawi. There you go. Badawi.
Yeah. Stacey Badawi. Yeah.
He's got the hottest legs in the place, man.
Dude, that guy looks like he's been like made with like a freaking granite and a little chisel. Legit.
Seriously.
Legit, dude. I'm telling you. This is a funny story. Like there were so Omar and Stacey were on the mat and they were partnered up. Okay. And we were doing this kind of like a breathing exercise where you get in your fighting stance, right? And then somebody, like your partner, puts their palm on your fist, right? And you give me tension as I'm extending my punch.
Yeah.
You're giving me tension, right? And we're doing a breathing exercise, but you're working your whole body. You're engaged the whole time as you coming forward. And as they're doing that, right? I just told the class, I go, time, you know? I had told them to freeze, and I go, time. And I go, everybody turn around and watch Omar and Stacey. And so they're frozen because I told them to stay still. I'm like, it looks like they were chiseled out of granite, and I just start cracking up because Stacey's like ripped, Omar is ripped, and these guys are like, they're a specimen for sure.
I remember I used to get on Omar all the time because he's a gentle. He's pretty gentlemanly with all the women. He's like, hey,
even the guys.
Hey,
I love sparring with Omar, man. He takes care of me. I know he's not gonna knock me out like Chris or AJ.
But you know me, the little gritty of me. I'm like, Omar, man,
pick it up. Yeah.
Shut your ass up. Make him do it. You can't be nice to people like that.
No,
then I feel bad afterwards.
Yeah. He's just a big teddy bear, dude.
He is a teddy bear.
I mean, you look at him, and you're like, dude, I don't want to mess with that guy. But he's just a big teddy bear.
He's definitely like a sweetheart, dude.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, for sure.
So, anyways, I just thought it worth mentioning. Yeah.
No, but that's good. That's good. Yeah, you got free furniture. You know what I want from IKEA?
What's that?
IKEA is Swedish meatballs. Fat guy problems.
I've never been brave enough to try them, man. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like food at a... Hold on a second, man. Come on, let's talk about this. Food at a furniture shop.
There's swirl.
Nah, dude. Come on, man.
There's ice cream for $1.
Hold on. How did that even come about?
The Swedes are different, man. You gotta... Swedish people. They know how to...
It makes no sense. And then you go buy... Because they sell hot dogs there, too?
Yeah.
You go buy a hot dog.
Well, why would you go to Costco and buy a hot dog?
Hold on a second. You're at a furniture shop, and it's like $0.25. And then you're like, all right, nah, man, here, you take this back. There's no way that there's a real animal in there for $0.25. Like,
I'll eat it.
I need it to be $1 or $2 for a hot dog to know that it's real food. Like, nah, man, I'm good.
The hot dogs are pretty good there, too.
No. Yeah, no.
If it's like their furniture, you're like...
And you know what? I bet they sell it.
It looks good on the outside.
I bet they sell a ton of food there, too.
They sell a ton of food.
Right?
They have a whole full cafeteria upstairs.
I bet they sell a ton of food.
Some people only go there just for the food.
Eat.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, IKEA, if you want to sponsor us, we'll totally change our tune and erase this podcast. We're good. Nah, you know what? If I had to put the furniture together, even if you were sponsoring us, I wouldn't take it. I'm good, IKEA. I don't need you. Dude, I got Mr. Omar and Miss Stacey.
I've broken so many IKEAs.
Dude, man. Listen, I think here's my gripe. So I got one thing from IKEA once, right? It was this tower. And first off, I couldn't even figure it out. Secondly, finally, when I did figure it out, after I called my compadre Adrian to come and help me build it, there was parts missing, man.
Yeah, always in their boxes.
And they're cool because they're like, okay, we'll send it to you or whatever. Like, don't worry. But dude, then now you got to wait another weekend. There goes another weekend wasted that you're not barbecuing or in your pool. And you're like trying to build this thing. I'm just like, nah, dude, you know what? Listen, from this point on, like, I'm a grown man. If we buy furniture, that's coming to my house built. And if it's not built, there's going to be someone in there building it and then placing it where it's supposed to be. Because I'm done with it, dude. I paid my dues. I paid my dues, man.
I just learned my lesson on that this weekend.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
Pay the $50.
I freaking lesson learned, dude. Lesson learned.
I'm telling you.
I'm with you on that 110%. I was ready to freaking just kick the shit out of the furniture. I was like, I'm going to throw this thing and break it and waste $300 on this thing because I'm...
Now, listen. You go to their store and like, dude, everything looks amazing. How the way they set it up and all that,
and it looks like it's like could last forever.
Yeah.
But the minute you buy it,
so much, huh?
And then you go to move it, oh crap!
Why does their stuff fall apart when you move it?
Because half of it isn't real wood. It's like particle board mixed with wood. You know, some of it you get the tops that are like wood, but everything else is like particle board. And then the screws aren't real screws, so they're drilled in. But they're these big looping screws.
Yeah, and then you're like, it's just weird.
And
man.
all they do is with vibration, those big looping screws just create big old holes in the furniture, dude. That's all they do.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about it, man.
I'm not, but I like bubbly.
Yeah, you know what? So
we can get a case of
I don't tell you this, Gary, but IKEA actually sent us a sponsorship form that I'm supposed to sign. But you know what? I said no. I just tore it up, dude. Threw it away. Don't worry about it.
Give it to me. I'll take care of IKEA.
Oh, IKEA, I love you, man. If you guys want to sponsor us, we're always open to it. But for now, since you're not sponsoring us, we don't like you.
I'll sell out.
I will too. IKEA has a lot of money. Hey, listen, we were closed for 3 months, man. We need the money right now.
I'll sell out, dude.
No, your side. your side will be built by IKEA and falling apart.
Like half up and half down. Yeah. With my chair with no arms.
My side might be old, but it's going to be real wood, and it's still going to be holding its integrity.
But every time I come in here, there'll be the new Alex or the new, because they name all their tables and stuff. It'll be the new.
Oh, they do? I didn't even know about the names.
Yeah. They name them. You know.
They're going to have to change your furniture like weekly, though. With you, the way you bang on the tables and stuff.
That's the problem.
Dude, you like bang on the tables, you push them and stuff.
So
I had for you that don't know, for a while our setup had the camera on the table. Because he's always bumping it with the chair, hitting it, slamming. I had to get a thing to put the camera.
Problems, man.
I had to put the camera on a tripod now.
Telling you, dude. So
you're making me work, man.
We used to buy IKEA things all the time. Gabby was away from work one time, and me and my older boy were into like WWF when he was growing up, The Rock and all. Yeah. We were into it, and back then though,
they probably use IKEA for.
That's what I'm saying, dude. So back then, though, they would go through furniture and stuff, right?
It's IKEA furniture.
So my son goes, I'm going to push you and land on the furniture, and we'll pretend like, you know.
Yeah, there's no pretending
with
that.
And it was an IKEA TV stand. The TV
no pretending with that.
He pushes me, and I'm like faking like I fall, but I really kind of fall, you know? And I just shattered the freaking IKEA thing. Dude. I was like, don't tell your mom. We tried to fix it. It was like this. Gabby came up and was like,
hey, listen, IKEA, we could totally fix this review if you guys send us a sponsorship, and we can just let them know that was a long time ago that you've updated your designs.
But they haven't. They still have that same type of furniture there. They have. I was just there.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing's changed.
No.
Oh man.
Sorry, IKEA. It's not you. It's us.
Here's the sponsorships I will take.
Northgate.
Modelo.
Hey, Northgate. Gonzalez, yep.
Bubbly.
Bubbly was good, man. It's way better.
Yeah,
what is this?
This isn't even carbonated enough for me. I need like a little carbonation.
And this is expensive, dude.
Too expensive for what it is. I've had it before.
This is really expensive.
Yeah, too foo for me.
Yeah, it's whack.
Yeah.
Unless you're giving us a sponsorship, we'll take it back.
Unless Spin Draft wants to give me a couple t-shirts.
Yeah, then we'll just go ahead and delete this podcast.
And maybe create another flavor than this.
It's kind of whack.
Nasty flavor. Yeah. I was thinking black cherry. Dude.
I hope that. Hey,
I was thinking black cherry. Oh man, black cherry. This is gonna be good.
Yeah.
Took a sip of it. I was like,
no, because the name is all cool, right? Like black
I
cherry.
feel bad. I was like, Abel must really like these. He bought these. So then when he gave it to me and I was drinking, I was like, I'm not gonna tell Abel.
No, this is sick. It's gross. Yeah. So it's super hot in here. Hopefully we get like an air conditioning company. Dude, we'll put your logo back. As a matter of fact, we'll put your logo on our backdrop.
We'll do a side hustle show.
It's so hot.
We'll call it like Airflow or something like that. We'll change the name. I will change the name.
We will. Yeah. We will.
And side flow with Abel and Gary. And like as we're doing it, it's just like
cooling down with Gary and Abel. And we're just like with our bubbly and then our AC.
If we're in here in the middle of summer and we don't have like something in here.
This is straight up the boiler room. Look at I'm like sweating up a storm. I'm gonna have to call this one.
I got tit sweat, dude. Good time.
All right, we're calling it. That's it. We're done. Hey, good talking to you guys. This was just shooting from the hip today because Gary got out of work early and he needs therapy. So I sit down with him and give him his therapy. I love you guys, man. Simpleman 0707 at IG.
Gary H72 on IG. Facebook, Blackbelt Collective. You can find Blackbelt Collective on all the major...
Blackbelt Collective, Krav Maga, on IG and Facebook and Yelp.
And YouTube. Definitely go on YouTube and hit like and subscribe.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace out. My boobs are sweating.